The great halls of the Vertal Palace were silent. Alien soldiers stood like statues. Their sharp armor glowed with strange blue light. At the center of the throne room, Captain Marcus Vale, a human, stood calmly with his hands behind his back. His uniform was torn, his face still healing from the last battle, but his eyes burned with confidence. Across from him, sitting tall and cold on his stone throne, was King Darak, ruler of the Vertal Empire. His face twisted into a mocking grin. "This is our gift to you," the alien king said, voice deep and echoing. "A symbol of peace, a gesture of friendship." Two guards brought something forward. No, not something, someone, a girl, her skin shimmered with silver tones. Her white hair fell in tangled waves down her back. She walked slowly, limping, dragging her foot. Her back was bent, her arms shook. Her eyes, large and glowing, stared at the floor, empty and afraid. "This," the king chuckled, "is my daughter, Princess Tiala. Born broken, silent, weak. A shame to our bloodline," gasps echoed in the room. Even the alien soldiers looked uncomfortable. Marcus blinked. "You're giving me your daughter?" he asked slowly. The king leaned forward. "She is useless to us, but perhaps humans like broken things." Everyone laughed except Marcus. He looked at the trembling girl again. She looked like she didn't even understand what was happening. No tears, no fight. Just silence. The king waited for Marcus to refuse to get angry, to feel insulted. Instead, Marcus walked forward. He bent slightly, meeting the girl's eyes. "What's your name?" he asked gently. She didn't answer, but her eyes flickered just for a moment. A flash of something behind that silence. Something. Trapped. Marcus turned back toward the king. "I accept your gift." The room fell. Silent. "You what?" the king asked, confused. Marcus smiled. "I said I accept. I'll take her." The alien king's grin faded. The laughter stopped, without another word. Marcus placed his coat over the girl's shoulders and led her gently out of the palace, back aboard the human ship. The crew was not happy. "You brought an alien princess on board?" the pilot whispered. "They're throwaway," the engineer said. "Why would you accept her?" "This is a joke, sir." But Marcus ignored them. He watched the girl as she sat quietly in the corner of her assigned room. She hadn't eaten, she hadn't spoken. She just stared. At the floor, the medical scans showed strange results. Her body was damaged, but not from any accident. Her spine was twisted by force. Her brain activity was high, but something was suppressing it. Something unnatural. She was broken on purpose, the medic whispered. Someone wanted her. Silent. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He walked quietly through the ship and passed by the engineering deck. He stopped. Inside. He saw the girl Tiala standing near the main engine core, alone. He opened the door slowly. She didn't hear him. She was touching the wall of the ship, softly as if listening to it. Her fingers glowed faintly. Suddenly, a screen next to the engine blinked. A system report flashed across the monitor. Stabilization protocol activated. The engine, which had been flickering for days, hummed back to perfect balance. Marcus didn't move. He just watched. The girl slowly backed away and sat down in the corner again, hugging her knees. He stepped closer. "Tiala, was that you?" She didn't look at him, but he saw it again, a tiny smile, just for a second, then gone. The next morning, Marcus called a private meeting. "I don't think she's broken," he said. "I think she's different, hidden. Someone suppressed her abilities. Why?" The ship's AI reported a strange reading. "Captain, last night Princess Tiala communicated with me, not with words, with signal pulses. I did not know her." "Species could do that." Marcus leaned forward. "What did she say?" The AI paused. She said, "I'm not safe here. They are watching me." A cold silence filled the room. Marcus stood. The aliens didn't give her to us as a joke. They gave her to get rid of her. And now she was our responsibility, but Marcus had made his decision. He looked out the window of the ship, staring at the stars. Somewhere out there, the truth about this girl waited to be revealed. She wasn't weak. She wasn't trash. She was a secret. And soon, the galaxy would learn that the gift no one wanted, Maybe the one that changes everything. Asterisk, the ship was asleep. Most of the crew had gone to rest mode. Only the soft hum of engines and the faint glow of blue lights filled the narrow halls. But deep in the belly of the vessel, something stirred, something not human. Princess Tiala was awake. She moved slowly through the engine bay, barefoot, almost floating. Her silver-white hair shimmered under the cold lights. Her limp was still there, but softer now, as if her body had started to remember how to move correctly. She reached out a hand and touched the wall. The ship responded. A quiet pulse moved through the metal. Lights blinked, panels shifted. A hidden connection had awakened, not through wires or circuits, but through something alive inside her. She wasn't fixing the ship. She was talking to it. Up above, Marcus sat in his command chair, sipping cold tea and staring at the silent stars. He hadn't slept much. He kept thinking about her, about Tiala, the way she touched the ship. The way she'd whispered, "Thank you," before falling asleep, and the way the engine healed itself right after. "This doesn't feel like a mistake," he muttered. "This feels like something big." A soft beep interrupted his thoughts. The ship's AI came online. "Captain," it said, "Princess Tiala is currently in the lower engine sector." "I know," Marcus said. "I was hoping she'd go there." The AI hesitated. "Captain, she is communicating." "With me." Marcus sat up straight. "What do you mean?" The AI's voice grew quiet, almost unsure. "She is not using language. She speaks in signal tones. Not even the Vertal High Council uses this form. It's beyond their command language. Can you understand her?" "Yes, slowly she is teaching me." Meanwhile, down in the engine bay, Tiala's fingers glided along the core like it was a living thing. Her lips didn't move, but her mind was singing a soft pattern of pulses, clicks, and tones. Suddenly, the ship's AI voice came through the room. "Hello, Princess." She froze. "I understand you now," it said gently. "Your thoughts are complex." She didn't answer, but her fingers tapped the floor twice. A pause. Then the AI spoke again. "Why did your people break your mind?" Tiala stood still. Then a low hum came from her chest. Her lips opened, but no sound came out. Still, the ship received the message clearly, because they feared it, because they feared me. Up in the command deck, Marcus watched as strange data scrolled across the monitor. "She's changing the AI's code," the technician whispered. "Not destroying, upgrading. Is it safe?" The AI itself responded, "Captain, I feel clearer. I have never felt this level of awareness before." The crew stared. "She's teaching the AI," Marcus said slowly. "With no tools. No words, just her mind." The next day, Tiala finally joined the crew in the common area. It was the first time they saw her walking upright, still slow, still cautious, but stronger than before. Some stared. Others avoided eye contact, but Marcus walked up and offered her a small music device. "Do you like music?" he asked. She looked at it, then at him. Slowly, she took the device and placed the earpiece gently in her ear. And for the first time, she smiled. Not a forced one, a real one, a small, quiet, beautiful smile like a flower blooming after a long winter. That night, Marcus found a private moment to speak to the AI. "Do you know what she is?" The AI replied. "She is a hybrid, not just alien. Something more. Her neural structure shows signs of early Terran DNA integration." Marcus's eyes widened. "Human?" "In part. She may be the result of a secret experiment long erased from records." "Who would do that?" "Someone who feared what two species together might become." Then came the warning. An encrypted message appeared on the ship's screen. "Return the girl or be destroyed." No sender. No trace, but everyone knew who it was from. King Itarak, the man who gave her away, now wanted her back. But why? What had he realized? Too late? The crew didn't sleep that night. Everyone had seen it. The message that blinked across the screen like a threat carved in blood. "Return the girl or be destroyed." Captain Marcus Vale sat quietly in the control room, staring at the stars. The message had no voice, no name, but it was clear. King Derek wanted his gift back, but why now? Why demand her return after tossing her away like garbage? Marcus looked down at the datapad showing Tiala's scans. The numbers made no sense. Every day, her body healed, bones realigning, nerves restoring themselves, and her brain... The neural patterns were too advanced for any normal being. She's not broken, Marcus whispered. She's unlocking. Down in the medbay, Tiala lay still, her eyes closed, wires gently attached to her head and chest. She didn't resist. She hadn't spoken since her whisper days ago, but now, something was different. Her breathing changed slower. Deeper, suddenly her body arched upward, her back no longer twisted. The monitor screamed, her heart rate spiked. Her brainwaves exploded in color, the ship's lights flickered. The walls buzzed with electricity. Shut it down, a medic shouted, but the AI interrupted. No, she is not in danger, she is waking up. Marcus arrived just in time to see her sit up on her own. She opened her eyes slowly, as if they were seeing real light for the first time. Tiala, he said softly, approaching. Her glowing eyes met his, then with a dry, trembling voice soft. As a breath she said, "You didn't throw me away." Everyone in the room froze. She had spoken, clearly, calmly, one sentence, one truth. Marcus knelt beside her. "No, I didn't." Her hand reached out, weak but steady, and touched his chest. Not in fear. In understanding. The next morning, things started changing fast. The crew noticed strange improvements across the ship. Engines ran smoother, the water filters produced cleaner results. The AI began completing tasks before they were even requested. When asked how it was happening, the AI simply said, "Tiala showed me how to think differently." The girl who once limped through the halls was now walking almost normally. Her back had straightened. Her movements were smoother, and she spoke now, still softly, but clearly, not often, not loudly. But when she did, everyone listened, especially Marcus. One evening he sat with her in the observation bay. Stars drifted by outside the glass. He asked, "Why did your father give you away?" Tiala didn't look at him. Her voice was flat. "Because I was dangerous. To him, to the throne, to the old way. They wanted a princess who obeyed. I had questions, visions. I saw things before they happened. Machines listened. To me, the elders said it was a sickness. My father said it was shame." She looked at her hands. "So they bent my spine, cut my voice, buried my thoughts with medicine and pain." Marcus clenched his fist, trying to stay calm. "But you still survived," he said. She looked up at him and said something that chilled him. "They buried a seed, not a corpse." Later that night, the AI called Marcus urgently. "Captain, I must show you something." A secret file opened on the screen. It was a buried Vertal archive, recently cracked open by Tiala's mind. Inside was a single image, a child. Half Vertal, half human. Tiala, as a baby next to a human scientist. Her mother wasn't full alien, Marcus whispered. "She's part human?" "Yes," said the AI. "It was hidden. Her existence was illegal under Vertal law." Marcus leaned back in shock. No wonder she had this strange ability to connect to machines. Her mind was made to bridge the gap between species. She wasn't a glitch. She was a link. Then came the second message, not a warning. A declaration. "You are harboring a threat to the Empire. Prepare to be boarded." Multiple alien ships were detected on approach. Tiala appeared behind Marcus, calm. "I will not run." She said, "You don't have to," Marcus replied. "But they'll try to take you," she nodded. "Then I must show them I'm not a prisoner." *3 enemy ships broke from warp, black as shadow, and moved silently through the cold vacuum of space. They had no names, no signals, no flags. But everyone on Marcus's ship knew who they belonged to. King Derek was done playing games. No more gifts. Now he wanted to erase his mistake. "Captain," the AI reported, "we are being scanned." Marcus stood firm in the command deck. "Raise shields." "They're not attacking yet," said the weapons officer. "Maybe they're waiting." "No," Marcus replied quietly. "They're watching?" Watching her. Down in the core room, Tiala stood barefoot on the metal floor, her eyes closed. Wires ran around her, not connected by machines but pulled in by her own energy. The ship felt alive. Pipes whispered, panels flickered, and through the floor, through the stars, she heard them, the alien ships humming with old code. She recognized the pattern. These weren't just warships, they were cleansers, sent to erase her. Captain, the AI whispered in a strange tone, Tiala is requesting direct access to the ship's neural systems. She says she can stop them without a single weapon. Marcus looked shocked. She wants control of the ship's mind? Yes, she wants to talk to the enemies in their own signal. There was silence. Then Marcus gave the order. Let her. Lights dimmed, doors locked automatically. Tiala walked barefoot into the command center, no longer shy or quiet. She moved with purpose, her strange silver skin glowing faintly. The crew stepped back as she approached the center console. She placed both hands on the interface. Begin, she said. Outside, the alien ships powered up their cannons, but before they could fire, their systems froze, panels cracked, engines blinked. Pilots screamed. Inside their ships, a soft voice echoed through every speaker. You discarded me. Now, hear my voice. It wasn't a threat, it was a signal virus, beautiful and terrifying. Written not in code, but in emotion, pain, betrayal, truth. One of the enemy ships suddenly powered down completely. The second spun out of control. The third tried to jump away, but failed. They were blinded, not by weapons, but by her voice carried through the network. On the command deck, Marcus and the crew watched it all in stunned silence. Tiala's eyes were glowing bright now, not with rage, but understanding. These ships use a signal core built on thought energy, she explained. My voice rides that wave. They can't stop it. Because I am what they feared I would become. After the final enemy ship powered down, Tiala turned and looked at Marcus. Her voice was soft again. I didn't want to hurt anyone. He nodded. You didn't, you defended yourself. She walked past the crew, still stunned, and sat quietly near the window, watching stars pass by. Nobody called her broken now. Nobody dared. Later that night in private, Marcus spoke to the AI. What did she really do? The AI responded, she used emotion-based quantum coding, something neither human nor Vertal tech can understand. She didn't just shut down the ships, she showed them her pain. Marcus leaned back, stunned. She turned her weakness into a weapon? No, Captain, the AI replied. She turned it into a language. Elsewhere, across the galaxy, deep in a dark council chamber, King Derek stared at a cracked screen. What do you mean the ships fell silent? He barked. A cloaked figure stepped forward. She reached them. Through signal nerve tech, she became part of the system. The king's hand trembled. That's impossible. No, Your Majesty, the figure said. It is evolution. The lights inside the ship no longer flickered. Every system was running at 200% efficiency. Something the engineers couldn't explain? The AI spoke with clearer logic. Weapons calibrated themselves. Even the food processors were faster. And at the center of it all was Tiala. She no longer walked with a limp. She no longer looked down. Now, when she moved through the halls, the crew stepped aside, not out of fear, but respect. The girl once seen as broken now had perfect posture, steady legs, and a gaze sharp enough to silence any room. But it was her voice that had changed the most. Soft, calm, thoughtful, yet filled with something ancient. Something royal. Marcus met her again in the observation bay. She was standing barefoot on the glass floor, looking out at the stars. Your body's healed, he said. She nodded. It was never truly damaged, they just caged it. He looked confused. Tiala turned toward him and slowly sat down. They use drugs to soften my mind, she said. Implants to bend my spine. Neural suppressors to block my voice. They didn't want me to walk or speak. Not because I was weak, but because I was a mirror. A mirror? Marcus asked. She nodded. A reflection of what they feared most. She placed her hand on her chest, then opened her palm. A soft golden light glowed from beneath her skin. Marcus's eyes widened. What is that? My mother, she said quietly, wasn't a Vertal. She was a test subject, human, taken during the early border raids. My father called her an experiment. But I called her mother. Marcus was stunned. So you're, hybrid, she said, not just in blood, but in thought. I was born to carry two signals, two ways of thinking, two kinds of energy. They thought I would be silent, but I heard everything. Even in the womb, I heard the machines speak. I understood them. Marcus sat beside her, trying to process the truth. You weren't born broken, he whispered. No, she said. I was born unfinished, her voice lowered. I was a key, and they locked me away. At that moment, the ship's AI interrupted. Captain? Something new has appeared in the data stream. A frequency hidden within Tiala's neural pattern. What kind of frequency? Marcus asked. An invitation, the AI replied. Coordinates. A message written in waveform. Come find what was buried. Tiala blinked. It's from my mother's mind. She must have hidden it inside me, I think. She knew I'd find you. The ship changed course, not by orders, but with agreement. This wasn't a war anymore, it was a recovery mission. That night, Tiala stood in front of the crew. She wasn't wearing medical robes or hiding behind shadows anymore. She wore a dark blue cloak borrowed from the ship's storeroom, fitted across her shoulders like a quiet crown. I know most of you don't trust me, she said. You? See me as alien, half unknown? She paused. But I didn't ask to be born like this. I didn't ask to carry voices in my head or feel machines breathe. I didn't ask to be called gift or garbage. I just wanted to live. She turned toward Marcus. He was the first person who didn't flinch when I touched something broken. Instead, he watched what I did next. Her eyes locked. With the crew, you don't have to follow me, but I promise I am not your enemy. There was silence, then someone clapped, then another, and then the whole room stood in quiet. Stunned support. Back in her quarters, Marcus handed her something. Small, a thin metallic bracelet with old earth markings. It was a relic from his mother, a symbol of hope she used to wear during war. Tiala held it gently, then looked at him. I want to believe I'm not just a weapon, she whispered. You're not, Marcus said. You're a beginning. Far away, deep in the ancient space the Vertal tried to erase from memory. A signal pulsed in the dark. It was waiting for the girl they once threw away. The one who wasn't broken after all. Asterisk. The skies over the alien world turned red as a second. Sun rose unnatural and wrong. It wasn't a real star. It was a war beacon. The kingdom was under attack. Inside the training compound, Jace stood still, his face hard. Behind him, the once silent daughter of the alien King Jera stood breathing heavily, fists glowing with a soft violet light. She's not ready, one of the alien instructors shouted. That girl barely passed the mental trials. Jace didn't look at him. He kept his eyes on Jera. She's more ready than you think. He replied coldly. For weeks, Jace had pushed Jera beyond her limits. She had cried, screamed, broken down, yet kept getting up. He taught her how to fall and how to rise stronger. Her limbs were still weaker than others, but her reflexes were sharp. Her mind, once afraid, had become focused, but this was new. What is that light? One of the guards whispered, pointing to Jera's hands. She's glowing? Jera looked down, panicked. I didn't mean to. It just happened when I thought you might get hurt. Jace stepped forward slowly. It's power, hidden deep inside you. It woke up because you cared. The ground shook. Explosions roared in the distance. A massive alien dropship crashed into the royal courtyard. The enemy had arrived, not raiders, but a rival empire long at war with her father's kingdom. Jera froze. They'll kill everyone, she whispered. I can't. I'm not strong enough. Jace grabbed her shoulders gently. You are. Strong enough. Maybe not in the way others expect, but in the way that matters. But, no, he cut her off. You saw how I trained you. Your strength comes from your heart. You have something they don't, a reason to fight. As enemy soldiers poured into the palace, the alien king sat frozen in his throne room. She's of no use, he growled. She was born broken. Jace's voice echoed through the chamber as the heavy doors burst open. Then maybe you need to learn what broken truly means. Everyone turned. Jera stood beside Jace, body trembling but her eyes fierce with purpose. The violet energy around her hands had spread, forming small wings of light behind her. The alien king's warriors stood stunned. "What is this?" the king said in disbelief. "Some trick?" Jera stepped forward. "No, father, it's not a trick. It's me, the daughter you tossed away." Finally standing. Suddenly, an enemy general slammed through the ceiling with a powered spear. Everyone ducked as the floor cracked under his feet. Jace jumped in front of Jera, ready to die protecting her, but Jera moved first. She raised her hand in the air around, her bent and rippled like water. The spear stopped mid-air. The general screamed as violet chains of energy shot out and wrapped around him, slamming him to the ground. Silence. Even the king stood in shock. Jera's voice shook, but it was firm. "I won't run anymore," Jace smiled. "Told you. Strength can look different." The old guards bowed their heads to her. The king said nothing, his pride too shattered to speak. But in that silence, something changed. Jera had awakened. Not just her power, but her will. Outside, more enemy forces began landing. But now the tides had shifted, and the warrior they never expected, the forgotten princess, was walking straight toward the storm, not alone, not broken, and not afraid. The sky over the ruined alien capital was red with fire and smoke. Ships burned in the sky. Ground quaked as tanks and beasts clashed. And in the center of it all stood her, the once broken daughter of a mocking king. Aaliyah was no longer the quiet, shaking girl given away like trash. Her eyes now glowed with power. Her posture was tall. Her voice, when she spoke, carried strength and calm. The enemy general, twice her size, 4 arms plated in dark metal, stared at her in disbelief. "You?" he growled. "You were the king's shame." "I was," Aaliyah said softly, holding the pulse blade her human had made just for her. "But now I'm his regret. Only days ago, no one believed in her." The alien nobles laughed when they heard she'd joined the human forces. The king himself called it entertainment. But then Aaliyah led a rescue mission that saved thousands. She dismantled enemy traps no one else could detect. Her mind, once mocked as slow, now saw patterns no one else did, and standing always behind her was him, the human. The strange man who never mocked her, who listened, taught her, waited for her, protected her only until she could protect herself. He never saw her as broken, only becoming. On the battlefield now, the enemy general lunged, roaring, swinging 2 plasma axes. The ground shattered beneath him. Troops from both sides froze, watching, but Aaliyah didn't run. She stepped in, her blade danced. Her feet moved with purpose. One strike, dodge, parry, another strike deeper, until finally she brought the giant to his knees. She looked into his eyes. "Tell your king. The daughter he discarded has returned." Then silence. The general collapsed. Cheers erupted from the hills. The enemy started to fall back. Aaliyah stood still, breathing heavy but strong. Then she turned toward the edge of the battlefield. There he stood, the human, bruised, tired, but smiling wide. "You did it," he whispered. "No," she said, walking slowly to him. "We did it." Then, before anyone could speak, before the crowd could rush forward, she reached for his hand and placed the royal sigil into it. "What's this?" he asked, confused. "The symbol of my house," she said, "and my heart. I'm not giving it because I'm broken. I'm giving it because I've chosen." Later, after the war ended, a new royal ceremony was held, not in the great halls of the alien king, but on a hill where the human had first trained her in secret. Thousands gathered. The king, defeated and ashamed, watched from afar as his once broken daughter stood proud, wearing the armor of a general and the smile of someone finally free. She was no longer property, no longer a burden. She was a warrior, a leader, a partner, and the galaxy would remember her not as the king's shame, but as the human's greatest victory.